Hey guys, Ponce here, and today I just thought I'd talk to you guys a little bit about the team builder thing Riot is talking about putting into the game. It's not even on public test realm yet, and this is October 15th, 2013, so as of now it's not in. I don't know when it's going to be available for testing. They might have mentioned it somewhere in this massive thread, which has at least 67 Riot posts in it at this point, probably more by now or by the time you watch this, and I haven't read it all. So there's a lot of info on here. If you want like the raw, whatever Riot is saying, unfiltered by me and me getting things wrong, you can just click on the link in the description below. That'll take you right to this thread here. Um, but yeah, basically what this is as of now the idea is it for it to be its own queue type. It's not going to replace ranked. It's not going to replace normal normal games or whatever. According to post number 8 here, initially team builder, we an entirely separate queue. Um, so yeah, from what I can tell, it's kind of like you guys ever play World of Warcraft or any of those MMOs that had queuing into a dungeon instance, and you would outline your role. Rift had it as well. Now that I think about it, so you outline what you are, and then it puts you into the system and matches you with a bunch of pug group. Probably not the best thing to compare it to because I'm sure you guys have all had horrible experiences with those, but we're playing League of Legends, so we're all used to that. But yeah, in any case, you can queue into this system using two different methods. First, the most simple way is you're just a solo player. You say, I don't want to, decide the team or whatever. And you say, I want to play. Well, why don't we use the example here they have in the picture? You say, I want to play Nautilus. I want to play jungle. You check that off jungle, and then you put down finally for role. I want to play tank. So you pick champion, your position slash lane, and your actual role, and then that'll put you in the matchmaking system or whatever. The second way of queuing up for this system is you designate yourself, and this is a slightly more complicated way, and how presumably matches actually get made, is you're the leader of the team, and you're saying basically, I want to be in charge of deciding the overarching strategy and what the team comp actually looks like. So what they do is basically they outline, and Riot recommends that for you to pick the leader, you should probably have one or two friends you're going into the queue, and then you fill out your team easier. But presumably you can just go in on your own and say I want to make the team for myself. But yeah, the leader basically outlines for the rest of the other four slots on the team what he wants on the team. Like he will actually, they talk about it here. Initially, he can't say I want X champion in that spot, presumably dissuade people from picking, nothing but the top tier. I want only Ari mid lane, and I only want Thresh in the support, that kind of thing. Um, so he outlines what he wants in each spot. Like he can say, I want, he could even say stupid things like, I want four mid laners and, stuff like that. And that may or may not work for him. But yeah, from there he outlines what he wants, and then it'll show him for each slot. Like I'm gonna guess, I haven't actually seen this. From what I can kind of tell, there he's gonna be a sort of a list of things he can slot into that position. Um, and the list will be determined by what people want to play in that role. So, for example, people who want to do something dumb like Nautilus mid are technically going to appear on that list of things he can pick from. But if this guy doesn't want, said stupid Nautilus mid on his team, he can actually go ahead and just pick the Ari or whatever. And presumably, this also has the hidden matchmaking ELO system working in the background, so it's only going to give you people vaguely around your skill level, I would assume. I haven't seen anything, but like I said, I haven't read the whole 67 posts, so you may want to go through all that to check for yourself. Um, and yeah, so you slot people in, and then there's some time afterwards where I guess the team can discuss, is this what they actually want to do, and that kind of thing. And you'll have time to leave if you're suddenly slotted. You say if you're a solo queue player and you say I want to play jungle, I don't know, Hecarim or something, and then suddenly you get slotted into a team leader's thing where he says, "Hey guys, let's do a 5 jungle team," and then you can go, "Hell no, I'm getting out of here," and then you leave. Um, now This does raise sort of an interesting question. Riot talked a lot about how this won't really increase queue times for stuff because there's a lot of people who want to play all sorts of stuff. My question is at the second stage when the leader is actually picking champions. Um, will this increase queue times for people who are sort of playing middle of the road champions? Sort of things that are considered sort of average mid. For example, Riot's, Ari's getting nerfed next patch, right? Or by the time you watch this, perhaps she already is nerfed. So she's not a really good example. But imagine Ari right now, where she's sort of a top tier, super high contested mid pick, or so Zed, and I don't think he's being nerfed yet. I don't know. But yeah, Ari or Zed. Ari or Zeds are going to get snapped up like that, right? Now, things that are not quite as awesome mid for, but can still be played. For example, I don't know. Maybe what's that guy called? Rise or Morgana would probably be a better example. Stuff that would normally actually get played in a normal queue environment. Are they just going to be continuously passed up over and over again? I don't know. Riot's saying that their biggest, or at least in the way they're responding to questions in this thread, like most of their comments have been addressing the question of, oh my God, you guys are trying to enforce the meta, and then Riot, comes and say, no, no, this doesn't. It puts the power of what people want entirely in the hands of the player base, which is fair. I mean, if people want to continue playing nothing but the standard quote unquote meta and the normal way of playing, then it's still the player base deciding it. So I guess sort of that's a roundabout way of saying nothing's going to change. It's going to be the same as always. Although it's possible that this new queue mode, since it's as of now not replacing any of the other things, it might in the future. But this new team builder queue mode might be taken as a less serious way of queuing the things, and people are going to expect trying new weird stuff because there is weird stuff that works. Gimmicks and well, cheese basically uh, is a very powerful thing. I play a lot of quote unquote cheese lanes, and people just don't know what to do against it, and it works. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how it works out. Like I was saying, Riot, has billions of dollars to work with here, and they probably know what you're thinking right now. And generally, they tend to get this stuff, fair. They do a fairly good job with this stuff. So I imagine there's not going to be too much of a problem with this mode, and I can completely foresee it replacing the normal queue mode at some or normal games at some distant time down the line, or maybe just replace the what's it called, draft mode or something. Although draft also has ranked, or I mean the bans, which is going to be difficult to work around. But again, presumably Riot knows a way of doing it. Ranked queues even more difficult to deal with. I mean, people tend to take that pretty seriously as is, and then I don't know, how do you deal with bans and all that kind of stuff. We'll see. And then also you get the problem of dodging. For example, if like the leader role picks like some kind of stupid team and then you get queued into it, at that point, it's really not your fault you get picked into this retarded team. Are you going to be allowed to dodge at that stage? I don't know. Oh, also, when the other important thing that Riot has mentioned is that when the captain guy, the team leader guy, is selecting from a pool of champions, he can't actually see anyone's name, so no one's going to be like LoL kinging, Ponce or whatever, and realize, oh, wait a minute, this guy is a terrible mid laner. I don't want him playing mid lane, or whatever, something like that. Um, So, yeah, that's really all I have to say on the matter. It's like I said, there's a lot of potential problems. Every time you put more power into the hands of players, it kind of makes me think. But like I said, Riot generally has a pretty good idea when they're doing stuff like this. So it'll be interesting to see. If it's a separate queue type, it's definitely release it. Why not? We'll see what happens with it, and I look forward to testing it. I'll have an actual video up about this whole mode and how it's working out on the public test run when it's available for testing. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been Ponce from twitch.tv/Ponce or livethenleague.com/livestream. I will see you guys around, and I probably forgot to talk about a whole bunch of things I was going to say about this mode, but I can't remember anything else. So goodbye.